What's happening, YouTubers? It's your boy CB, and we are back for my favorite segment on the channel, Huddle Watch Alongs with Recruits. On today's episode, for you guys that like trench bullies and guys that just can move other defensive linemen, this is your episode. Also, if you've never seen a guy that can physically impose his will on a defensive lineman, but also has the speed and the agility to get out on screens and pulls and do things athletically that normal offensive linemen cannot and should not do, you have clicked on the right episode. 2026 four-star offensive lineman Micah Smith is a absolute beast, but he has that versatility and that athleticism and the smoothness that you don't normally see from someone with this kind of size and power. But you don't want to hear from me. You're going to want to hear from the superstar himself. So without further ado, easily one of the most athletic, dominant offensive linemen I've had the privilege of watching on tape. 2026 four-star offensive lineman, Champ Smith. How's it going, bro?
Going pretty good. It's going pretty good. Very good.
So for you, you're on your bye week this week. So catch us up. How's this season been going so far for you and the squad at Vero Beach?
We started the season 0-3, but we played, some of the top ranked schools in Florida. So, and we should have beat every single team. Like we lost by one possession, 2 points in both those games, or all three of those games. And it was like the team knew that we're better than this. Like we can compete with the dudes, when we get to the Final Four, regional final, stuff like that. So that just kind of gave us the confidence, like later in the season when we clean all this mistakes up, like we're gonna really be great.
So how was that for y'all? Because the team is fairly young. So I know a lot of times when you say a team school, everyone thinks of the seniors or the guys they see from 24/7 pushing, but those are the seniors. That is a very young team led by a freshman quarterback. What was the mindset like going into this year, knowing you guys are young, a bunch of highly touted recruits, but it's still a young squad? How was that, especially as an offensive lineman? How was that? And now getting to see your young freshman quarterback develop, and you've seen him not look like a freshman. How was it coming into this year? And then how have you seen him grow throughout these first few games?
Well, we call him Little Champ because I'm a big champ out of school. But seeing Champ grow, it's been pretty good. In the summer, I didn't really know like if he was, because he was a youth prodigy, and it was doing good. I was like, hey, this high school, this varsity, it's a little.
It's big time, dog.
I didn't know what he could do, but then he went on 7-on-7s, and then Florida State dropped the offer, and then UCF dropped. I was like, oh, and I saw some
Yeah.
film. I was like, oh, he the real deal. So okay,
Yeah.
lying about him. So he came in, and spring, fall camp started, and he started dominating. Dotting up, and he's been coming along great.
I remember the first time I saw, I was like 2028 quarterback, because I have a thing. I'm not going to watch any freshman tape because it's not fair to judge somebody off their freshman season. You're still young. You might even be playing that position in 2 years. So I'm like, I'm not, but let me keep an eye on him. So I see a clip. I say he dropping these kind of dimes. He how old? I was like, all right, okay. So I gotta ask Trent when he get on here about him, because like you said, this is big time Friday night football. The game is a lot faster than you even anticipate it being. When they tell you it's going to be faster, it's a step faster than that. I remember the very first time I got on the field, I was like, oh, this is what they meant. Everything is just a half step faster. So it's impressive seeing him not just adjust to the speed of game, but almost be adjusted to the speed of game already as a freshman. That's incredibly dangerous. Hey, shout out to Lil Champ, man. That boy gonna be a whole problem. So beforehand, we talked a little bit about recruiting. I want to tap into a little bit of that. But before we get into the schools specifically, how is it balancing recruiting, schoolwork, having a life, trying to be a best friend, a boyfriend, a son, a friend, schoolwork, work with your. So you're gonna work out with Vero, then you're gonna do your own work. I know you do. I don't even gotta ask you. I see it. So I know you do. How is it balancing all that with recruiting, bro?
Well, to be honest, it's real tough. Like just you got to be very like dang, what's the word for it? You got to be very
Discipline.
focused and disciplined. Yep, that's the
Yeah.
one. And it's tough. waking up in the morning, doing schoolwork, going to actual school, working out, coming home, doing more schoolwork. Then you gotta call your girlfriend. Girlfriend get mad. You text her all day, stuff like that. But it's kind of tough. But I'm getting used to it, and I'm adjusting pretty well.
And I'm gonna tell you, just like I told Carl Jenkins Jr. when we were on here, if your girlfriend call you, answer that phone. She's not gonna believe you that you're talking to a man named Chalupa Batman. It's gonna sound like you're lying. So go ahead and answer that if she calls. But I love that. I like that you do understand that it can be too much if you're not focused, if you're not disciplined, if you don't keep the main thing. It could feel like, man, every day I gotta call somebody. Every day I gotta, damn it, I gotta test this Friday, but they want me to go. So I like that. Your first thought was, as long as you're focused, yeah, it's hard, but you can navigate it. A part of that is understanding where you want to be even before you started your journey. So you plan on being an early enrollee, and that's not something you decided yesterday. You decided that as a freshman. Talk to the people in the comments who may not understand that process and what you had to do and what you've had to do to make sure that you're going to be an early enrollee when you graduate.
Well, to even qualify as early enrollee, you got to go to your local college and become dual enrolled, and you got to take tests. And the tests, them things are hard to pass.
Yeah, them test, college test, baby.
It was hard. So, just doing that, especially at a young age, kind of immature a little bit. But I had my older brother did it. Well, both my siblings did it. So they kind of led the way for me to stay focused. And my brother, he says it's way easier having his associate's degree going into college. So it's way easier. So I just want to get to college and just chill, take a few classes. I don't want to be struggling with them general education classes my freshman year. So I just want to get that over.
Shout out to Big Bro. Hey, shout out to Big Bro for that. I love that you got somebody in your corner that has seen and has navigated this road. He gonna tell you, don't do that. Yeah, but everybody keeps saying, bro, don't do that. Do this instead. I like that you got somebody in your corner, especially when it gets rough. Because, like you said, you started taking dual enrollment as a freshman. So I know there's times when you like, bro, like you got somebody that's like, I know, bro, but trust me when I tell you. Like he telling you, when you get there and you're a freshman, all your boys gonna be struggling. You're gonna have a step up. Plus, you're gonna have that work ethic already. You're gonna have a different level of work ethic and a dedication to it. Another thing is when these college coaches start looking into you, they look at that transcript, they go, oh, that's impressive. This is a freshman that decided to do this. It wasn't like you waited till you were highly recruited and was like, hold on, maybe I need to. That tells college coaches, all right, he's had a head on his shoulders from the time he was 14 years old. That type of maturity, that's different. I love that you got somebody in your corner that helped you navigate that. And that led to some pretty fantastic results. So now we got to get into this. When it comes to recruiting, some of the biggest names in college football are on that ledger. I want to start with Oregon because they won't let you go a game without a good luck or without a message. What's it like knowing you get that kind of love from a school that I guarantee if we were to talk in the 8th grade champ, you would have probably, your eyes would have been this big if I told you Oregon won't stop blowing up your phone. What's it like knowing you got that offer, and what's the relationship like with that staff up there?
It's been amazing. Well, the first day they contact us, I got a FaceTime call at 12 o'clock from Oregon.
That's fire.
That just shows that Oregon they're very interested in me, and that's great, because some schools, they like to be a little fancy and bougie, like I can't text me or something, but I'm not really worried about that. Like Oregon, they're going to be one of my top schools in Oregon. I really like them. My relationship with Coach Terry and Coach Savaya is pretty good.
And then you see the success of a guy like Penei Sewell in the league. How much of watching or seeing what Penei Sewell did just made you happy when Oregon looked at your tape and was like, okay, he's next?
It made me feel pretty good. Like they can see the future. They're already, imagining a future for me, which I really like about Oregon.
And then let's go to another dominant offense. When I say Tennessee, everyone thinks of that high-powered offense, right? You think of when it comes to receivers, Jalen Hyatt. I go all the way back to Peyton Manning. But they have always been known for having explosive offenses, even this year with Nico. But you can't have an explosive offense like that if you don't have a dominant offensive line, especially when you spread everything out. That means there's 5 guys taking on everything. What was it like getting that big time SEC offer from Tennessee, and what's the relationship like with those guys?
My relationship with Coach Alarby, it's pretty good. We're growing. I was gonna get up there for a game, but I didn't really make it. But Tennessee, I really like Tennessee. You know, they have a high-powered offense, like you said, and I can see myself, you know, growing in that type of offense.
And you got a quarterback that slings it. So I would imagine you looking at Nico like, yeah, bro, I know I got you. I could take everything inside one on one from you. Don't worry. Oh, you ain't got to leave a running back in if Champ back there. I got you up the middle for sure. So when I saw that offer, I was like, that's because their style of play is different. It's not always going to be a tight end in there to chip. There ain't going to always be a running back in there. They like to spread it out. So when we talk SEC football, though, a couple schools just pop into your head. Georgia's one of them. We're talking about winning 2 national championships in a row, a school that is known for the trenches. What was it like the day that offer came through?
So actually, it was last year. It was around late July. You know, it was like a prospect only camp. And to be honest, I didn't really have my best camp. But they saw the potential in me. I dominated in a few reps, and they offered me, and that was pretty special. You know, having that Georgia offer. You know, at the time they were back-to-back champs, and that was really big time, very big time.
So, but before we move on to any other school, because it is back-to-back champs, and at the time when that offer came through, they are reigning back-to-back champs. If we go back to 8th grade, bro, and I sit down with you, and I'm like, hey, champ, you about to have an offer from Georgia, the back-to-back national champions, and it's going to come after a camp where you feel like you didn't do your best. What do you think 8th grade you would have said to that?
You're lying. Get out some. No.
But you know what that is though? That's all the work you put in before that. That's the film too. They watch the film too, so they know that's not his best day. But we know even though he didn't have his best day, we're putting that with the film, with talking to his coaches, with knowing who you are. That offer was in the bag for you. They knew who you were when you walked into that camp because they saw the film already. So I know that had to be extra rewarding too, because you're a competitor. You're telling me that was one of your worst days. Kirby was probably thinking, hey, Smith was out there dominating today. But you being your hardest critic, you're going, I can do more. I can do better. That's why you got the Georgia offer. That mindset. Because they know that's that SEC offensive lineman mindset. I can always be better. I can always be, even if it's 1% better, that wasn't my best. I can promise you I can give you my best. That's why the offer sheet is what it is. When we talk about offensive excellence and the offensive line, I'd be remiss if I don't mention the Miami Hurricanes and Mario Cristobal. What was it like the day you got that offer from one of the hometown schools?
Um, Dang. They sent. I'm forgetting his name, but they sent a coach down there, and I was still at John Carroll, and he walked into the office. I was like, whoa! And the coach called me, and he was like, "Champ, Miami's here." I was like, whoa, like, cause coaches was first coming on campus, so I was like, whoa, Miami's here. And then later that night, I got a call from my head coach at the time. He was like, "Champ, man, you know, we like the Hurricanes. Miami just offered you." And I went crazy. I heard offer, and I got my first 2 when I was in 8th grade. So that was my 3rd offer, and that was amazing, man. I really remember. I love that day, man. I really like the Hurricanes.
I love those memories, and I love that with every offer we talk about, it's a different memory that you have lit up for. And I can see that in your mind the second I say the school, you remember the day, you remember the phone call, you remember everything. So you got to see this team in person this year. You got to see them play against Florida. What was that atmosphere like?
Um, the swamp. Well, because I went to the game in the swamp. It was Miami lit it up. You know, Miami was there and dominated first game of the season. So it was great seeing that they can win on the roads in the swamp. The swamp is not an easy place to play.
It's not an easy place to play. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your record is walking into it. It's not an easy place to win.
And Miami, they showed in. They showed up. Not only did they dominate, I mean, they just.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a good one. It was a good one. So for you, as someone who I guarantee you, Coach Mirabal, Coach Cristobal have been telling you what the offense is going to look like. We're going to be dominant in the trenches, and you get to see them that first game. What was that like, getting to see that offense rolling like that? Probably picturing yourself in it as well.
It shows that they have a high-powered offense, and seeing myself in that, like having a high-powered offense, I don't really know, but I'm guessing that the scouts, the NFL scouts, they look at that and be like, you played in that type of system, okay, like he can play with us, you know.
And then you look at the success of the offensive line. CC Mawinoa played as a true freshman All-American. This year, Markel Bell, essentially a true freshman, transferred from junior college, playing at left tackle already. How much of that success from early guys at Miami, OJ Frederick, true freshman defensive back, Ruben Bain, freshman All-American last year, how much of seeing the success that Mario allows true freshmen to have gets you excited about the potential of you possibly being a Cane in the future?
Some schools they're not too fond of playing freshmen, but Miami, they have history of playing freshmen and them dominating, getting awards and being All American. So that means a lot to me. Like I can go in there, hey, I can play, go there young, develop, and get some awards and dominate.
It's there's something, especially when you're an early enrollee, because by the time the season rolls around, you're kind of a sophomore at that point. You've seen so much. You've been literally in the trenches for you, literally in the trenches. So I love that at Miami, Mario gives y'all that opportunity, early enrollee or not. If you come ball, you're going to earn yourself some playing time. Freshman Jordan Lau, 97-yard touchdown run this year. You're seeing that if you come in and you do the work, you can play. So before we get into the film, I got to ask, the athleticism, bro. The athleticism from you. Are you a former hooper?
Oh no. Well, I played baseball all my life, but I don't really think that contributes to my athleticism. Well, my brother, he's actually a quarterback, and I used to run routes for him. So doing that ever since
Okay.
I was a little kid, running routes, cutting, and that really contributes to my athleticism.
Hey, have you been asking? So we've seen a couple offensive linemen score lately. The Lions pulled out some crazy stuff last week. Have you been asking your coach to throw you a little something?
Yes, I played for the Doughboys at OT7, and they seen all my clips. So you meet mossing people and running around, jigging people, running for 30 yards. So I asked for a pass. Coach J, he's an old head, so he don't really go for that. But hopefully he'll do it.
Hey, come on, man. Let's get him one. We ain't asking you to go crazy. Let's just throw him one little bubble screen or a hitch. If I had to ask you, because we see you dominant in pass pro, you're dominant in the run game as well. But if I give you your preference, a pancake in the run game, getting to the second level, pulling and destroying a DB, or controlling a dominant pass rusher all game, which one would you prefer?
I'd say getting to the second level and destroying DB because that is not every offensive lineman can do that, and so you showing your athleticism and being able to make that block. DBs, they shifty, they be out there, they fast. So being out there to make that block, that shows a lot.
Do you find coaches are surprised, especially college coaches, when they do see you at a camp and how athletic you are?
Absolutely, they're always like, "Wow, I didn't know he could move like that."
That's why I assume I'm like, man, he got to be a former hooper, bro. Feet this quick, moving like this. Have you just always been a quick guy?
Yes, well, I trained as like a skill guy when I was younger, but I just got bigger, so it just
Hey.
came with me.
And then so you got the athleticism, you got the ability to be a tight end if you want to, but the tenacity, the ability to look, bro, if I don't hear this whistle, I ain't getting up off you. Have you always just loved the physicality of the game?
Absolutely. That's one of the reasons I chose to play offensive line. Because when I was in youth, I was a big time O lineman and D lineman. But offensive line, pancaking people and driving them through the dirt, that's been my passion ever since.
So here we go. You got to release them to the second level in this poor corner. How excited were you when you saw zero coming?
I thought he was gonna break me, but like I broke down and I grabbed him. And I grab you, it's over. Right? You ain't going nowhere.
Bro. Hey, word to the wise. If you in the second level as a DB, you see that 55 coming, ain't no shame in getting out the way, man. Ain't no shame in getting out the way. That and you really not gonna stop driving. It's either we both on the ground or the whistle gonna blow.
Absolutely.
We driving a man 10 yards down the field. How much do you just love imposing your will like that? Now I know y'all got an offense that does a little bit of everything, so we're gonna see y'all spread the ball out too. But as an offensive lineman, how much do you love when your coach just calls a play when you just get to drive somebody 20 yards down the field?
Oh, I love it. Our coach, he likes to call a lot of pass plays. So, him finally calling a run play, it's like, finally I can go pancake somebody.
Dude, as someone who did play defensive lineman before you locked in on offensive lineman, you feel like that gave you a little bit of a leg up too?
Oh, absolutely, because I know what an O lineman does not like, and vice versa. I know what a D lineman does not like. So it kind of gives me like a extra help, like an extra step on a D lineman.
So it don't matter, speed rusher, power rusher, someone who got some bend. It Bro tried to bend. But he tried to bend. Mid-bend, he got stopped. Then he tried a spin move. What is the key to an offensive lineman to shutting down these various moves? We've seen you deal with speed rushers, tall guys, small guys trying to get up under you. What do you feel like is the key to shutting down the different style of pass rusher?
Your feet and base. If your feet are together, you're gonna get either polarized or broke. So just having a good base and having good posture, those are the most two important things. And you can't be late with your hands. Grab them. It's not that hard. Just put your hands on them and move your feet. That's all you gotta do. That's my motto.
Hey, when you dominating like this, champ, I'm talking about like this, when don't nobody want to see that 55 coming. What do you like on a football field? Are you talking or are you mostly quiet during the game? I'm talking about 10 pancakes in the game, y'all running up and down the field. What are you like during one of those performances?
I'm not really a big talker. I kind of let my play do the talking. I'm not really, people. They like to talk and, oh, you a 4-star? Okay, I like that. I'm gonna do you in there. I don't really talk. I just shut them up with my play. I don't really talk like that.
Yeah, that's when you got to be worried about the ones that's quiet. When you try to pull somebody, hey, you a 4-star? I'm gonna make my name off of you. When he look at you like this and get back to his huddle, hey, stop talking to that man. That man don't mean you nothing but harm, bro. If he don't got nothing to say to you, all he got is physicality for you. How was that approaching that going into this year? Not just this year, last year as well, but after you start getting the rankings, the acclaim that comes with the work that you put in. Do you feel like it was different approaching the game after you became the 4-star offensive lineman?
Oh, absolutely. My teammate TJ, he's the one that showed me that I became a 4-star on 247. He was like, people going you getting out them 4 stars, it's a big target on your back. So now you gotta walk with some, play with some more effort, more everything, because people are gonna try to expose you, and you do. That's the worst thing you want to do. Do not get exposed, and that's what my teammate told. That's my teammate TJ told me, and that stuck with me ever since.
A big shout out to TJ Alford. One of my earliest interviews on here. That is one of my favorite young men, and I'm glad he gave you that advice. How much did you lean on some of those veterans in the locker room when you did start to get the rivals postings and the 24/7 postings? Because those are guys that have taken visits, they've been through this. How much were you able to lean on them for some advice?
TJ, he's been with me ever since we was at John Carroll together, and he's given me a lot of tips during the recruiting process. How to do things. You know, just a lot of tips, and I appreciate TJ for helping me out during the recruiting process.
What's them battles like in practice, bro, when he come off the edge? What
Uh,
what's that like?
I remember my freshman year. It was like the first day we got passed, and he jacked me up and knocked my helmet off. So I was like, I can't come half step into this dude no more. And ever since, it's been a good battle, but he ain't been getting me really.
Bro, he told a story that he missed a game and he didn't have the tackle lead no more. He missed 2 games. He didn't have the tackle lead. Y'all have a board that's up that has the leading tackles. and I think he had missed 2 games, so he had lost the lead by like 17 tackles. Bro came in first game back 20 something tackles. So when I hear that and I hear how you talk about the game and how you approach recruiting, there's a different type of mindset at Vero. Where does that come from, bro? That tenacity, that now obviously you got to one up the guys in the locker room first, and when y'all all continue to one up each other, y'all dominate somebody on Friday. But that's a different way of looking at the game, bro. Like y'all are laser focused. Where does that come from?
It's just the culture of the program, really. A lot of people in the former classes, they went big time, and just having that will to be great. And we don't really like people that if you ain't trying to be great, get out of the locker room, man. I don't want to hear nothing from you. Like just building that type of culture around Vero, that's what really makes us great.
And that culture survives. It lives on, like you said, it was the culture. Y'all got handed that culture.
Yes.
And now y'all are clearly just taking care of it, and then y'all gonna pass it on. Like we started this talking about your freshman quarterback, Lil Champ. So Lil Champ watching TJ and Big Champ, and he know I got to do an extra rep. He know I got to be in early. He know he got to stay late and throw because he see y'all doing it. He see TJ doing the extra rep. He see Big Champ. All right, they said 10 reps. I'm gonna do one more. They said be here at 5. I'm here at 4:30. That culture, that winning culture, and that winning attitude just continues to be passed down. So what's gonna happen is y'all gonna be gone from Vero, right? And somebody gonna slack. Somebody not gonna run a gasser hard enough. Somebody gonna say, nah. I want to hear what kind of stars you got, what kind of offers you had. Because Champ had every offer and he ran every gasser hard. So we not accepting nothing less than your 100. I don't want to hear Bama nothing because he had all that and he worked just as hard. So you got to. Ain't no excuse. What you gonna say, bro? What they gonna say in 3 years? I got a Georgia offer. I don't gotta go hard no more. So, but we had them. And the dudes that had them worked the hardest here. So every class after that is just going to have to at least withhold that or uphold that, if not one up it. How much pride do you take in that, bro? How much pride do you take in knowing you go to a school where when you get to college and somebody say, oh, he come from Vero. Oh, okay, he ready.
I'll take a lot of pride in that. Making the choice to transfer to Vero, I think it's one of the best choices me and my parents have made in a long time. Because that just like I said earlier, the culture of Vero is it's real different, and it's a winning culture, winning program, and just like you said, when you go to college, oh, he went to Vero, oh, he ready like that.
Yeah, they know. They like, okay, he mentally ready. They know you mentally strong. They know the game. Then they look at your transcript and go, oh, that boy been ready. He been ready since he was 14. So as an offensive lineman, there's something that's always interesting to me because y'all got to do these camps down there in Florida, right? And Florida's known for speed. These defensive ends and defensive tackles, they run like linebackers and safeties, bro. You got them on your squad, so you know what's up. How is it as an offensive lineman, and how much do you enjoy going to these camps and just getting to compete against the other top defensive ends and pass rushers that Florida has to offer?
I enjoy it a lot because it's kind of like some of the best competition in the whole country. And, going to a camp like Under Armour, it's like, oh, these guys from Miami, these guys from Tampa, these guys from all over coming to one place to compete. And it's like, what do I match up against these guys? The best guys, the best guys in Florida, they're some of the best guys in the country. Florida has the best football. And it's tough, man. But, it's good. It's good work, though.
How much do you feel like that has just sharpened you as a football player, getting to compete against some of those when you go to them rivals or them Under Armour camps and you're seeing these are not just going to be the best players in college. These are going to be Sunday NFL football players that you're working up against.
It feels good. It's like I just get to compete against these guys and just where do I rank up,
It's got to be dope too, because obviously you walk in there, I'm him, and he lining up against you, I'm him. Then you get to leave a camp like that, going, oh no, I'm really him. Like I knew I've been saying it. I know I'm dominating, but I only play who I play on my schedule. I'm really good at. Do you remember that moment for you when it clicked, when you could just see that, okay, like I'm putting in the work, and it's clearly paying off. Like I'm going to be special at this. Did you have that moment?
It actually happened a few months ago. Well, I went to the unarmored camp.
Really?
I did pretty good, and then a few months later, I went to a Mercer mega camp, and I went against a class ahead, which I always do. I always try to go against the older guys, and I was surrounded by coaches. And my goal I told my dad, I said, my goal is to not lose a single rep. And I went out there, I probably took 15 reps. I mean, I did not lose. I was dominating.
Let's go.
Murdering people, and it was a mega camp. So coaches they're all around, and I was just I can't offer left and right. So that really dang, like this is the eye opener. Like I'm really him at this.
I love that you had that moment too in front of the scouts, in front of the coaches. That also tells you in your mind, oh, if the lights are bright and my number's called, I know I'm showing up. Because that's a pressure cooker situation. That literally you for all intents and purposes, you feel naked. You're literally out there exposed. And as an offensive lineman, the smallest things can happen. You could slip in your kick step. It looked like you got whooped, but all you did was slip, and it's not even you. The turf trash. So to lock in, hone in, and have that focus, and then have it going into there saying, "Hey, pops, I ain't losing none of these today," and then rep after rep, dominate. I know that had to feel good, bro.
I called my dad right after. I was like, "Oh, I ain't lose a single rep.
I ain't lose none of these things." Somebody lost a star messing with me today. I don't know if I gained one, but somebody lost one messing with me today. So
it was like trash competition. Like these dudes were like quick,
yeah,
big, fast, and like I was out there holding my own, dominating. So it felt good.
And what's dope about that too is as an offensive lineman, you're used to working with a unit. You know what your guard can and can't do. The same way with him. You know, all right, if this dude, all right, this dude a little quick. Let me go ahead and give him a hand because I know, hey, if I get him back on track, homeboy gonna get. But you know your guys one-on-one different. That's mano-y-mano. That's who want this rep better, period. Ain't no inside help, ain't no outside help. You don't got a linebacker behind you I got to worry about. It's me and you, dog. It's just me and you. I don't care who's shaded by. I ain't worried about nobody inside or outside. So I love that you also had that confidence going there going, oh, yeah, I'm on an island, and I'm not losing a rep. And then didn't lose no reps. Yeah, I know you was on cloud nine after that one. I know you would. So you got a couple of hidden talents, bro. We gotta dive into this. So YouTube series. Your journey to going D1, but what's interesting is you be throwing down, bro. Like real deal be throwing down. Have you always been able to cook and get down in the kitchen like this?
I started cooking when I was probably like 12 years old because I started getting hungry in the house. So you got to big. So my dad, he taught me how to make baked potatoes. But I'm a big steak guy, so I used to watch TikTok videos, Gordon Ramsay. So I used to watch them, and I just started making it. And my dad was like, let's start making videos about this stuff. And that's Chef Champ right there. And it just kind of blew up for me, and I really like that. I really like cooking. You're right. That's my hidden talent.
I was about to say, if that's not your hidden talent, what is? Because not a lot of so come on now. Come on. As someone who hasn't eaten dinner yet. That's fire. So did you learn that you started liking cooking? Did you started enjoying the process as much as you enjoyed the work when it came to football?
Yes, I probably learned that about a year ago when I started actually cooking in the kitchen. And when my dad bought me that apron, I started cooking a lot more. I'm always in the kitchen. I might go cook something later.
Bro, you a different type of young man. Every offer in the book, as humble as it can be, with every offer in the book, started taking dual enrollment as a freshman. Can go feed yourself. I know your pops is happy about that. He's probably like, look, man, I can't. Look, sometimes I can't keep up. But what I love though is you're a very well-rounded individual. So I have a question for you. On the days when it's rough, bro, on the days when you done practice hard, you done lifted, you was up late because you had a test you had to study for. You wake up sore, tired, and you was cooking last night too. So you had to study, then you had to cook. What keeps Champ motivated? What's that why that gets you out of bed on those days when you're sore and you're tired and you feel like you can't no more?
Um, God, He's given me tremendous abilities and tremendous eyes, and I just feel like I can't fail myself in life. I gotta do something. I gotta make it big. Cause I want to have a big family. Live on a big old plots of land, have a big house, and that's kind of my motivation. Like I want to have generational wealth for me and my family. So that's my motivation.
Hey, I love that answer, bro. You're gonna need some livestock on that land, by the way. Because if you're talking about having a big family, if it's 4 or 5 champs at the house, you gonna need to start kind of cultivating your own food at some point. Because you have a few ewes. They gonna eat you out of that NFL money that's coming. I promise you. They so you gonna need it. But I love that you have that vision and that focus and that determination. Have you always been that determined and that laser focused, even when you were younger, just starting your recruiting journey?
Um, yes. Well, my dad, because I used to fall off track a lot. I used to not want to work out, be lazy, eat like just be terrible. And my dad, I remember he kicked me out the way. It was in here. He kicked me out the way a few years ago, and it was just I was like, dang, I really gotta lock in because I won't be big time like this. So my dad, he's the one that's kept me on track.
What is he like after your games?
If I had a bad game, we gonna have to talk about it because sometimes I come home and I don't really want to talk about nothing. So we're gonna sit at the table and we're gonna talk about the bad game, what I could have did better. But during the game, he doesn't really talk to me. He lets me be me, and that's how I feel like I've grown as a man. Him letting me be me.
That's bro, you just described exactly how my dad. I never even knew where my pops was at the games. He didn't want me to see him. I knew he was there. He's never missed a game, but I never knew where he was. One time, so I threw my helmet down one time. I was wide open. The quarterback didn't throw me the ball. Slammed my helmet. It's the only time I ever noticed my dad at a game because he came down and I'm standing watching the defense. Coach tapped me on my shoulder. Hey, your dad want to talk to you. I'm thinking they're messing with me. There's no way. My dad ain't down there. He ain't like them other parents. So I know that's not my dad. Boom, boom. My best friend. Hey, your dad want to talk to you. I said, stop playing with me, fam. He said, your dad's right there. I turn around. My dad at the bottom. Come here. I turned to my coach and said, hey, parents can't talk to kids during the game, y'all. Make sure, tell him to go back up there. My coach was like, hey, he said you got to go talk to him. I went over there. My dad said, hey, if I ever see you do that again, you'll never play a down of football again in your life. Act like you've been there. So I don't ever show your court. And my quarterback was my best friend. He would say, why would you do AJ like that? He said, because now everyone's looking at, man, Carmona mad. AJ must have done something wrong. He said, I don't want to ever see you do that again. Actually, twice. The other time is I danced. I'm going to date myself. I did the stanky leg in like the 8th grade when I scored a game-winning touchdown. And I did it on the sideline because we weren't allowed to celebrate in Texas. They'll call the playback. My dad lost his mind, like not in front of everybody until we were literally leaving and you can see your parents on the way out. And my dad pulled me over. He was like, you look like the kid that's never scored before. Why'd you got to dance? And I was like, because the game winning touchdown. He said, they do that to the kid that never scores though. He's act like you've been there. He's like, because all the other parents looking like, why was he dancing? She was like, act like you've been there. My dad's always, that's his saying. So I understand that. And when I came home from losses, I was like you. I don't want to talk about this, man, like tomorrow. But my dad taped every game. So this whole thing was like, you don't want to talk about it? Cool. But you got to watch it before you go to bed. Every game, win, lose, or draw, watch it. And then you can go to bed. If you don't want to talk about it, that's cool. Go relive that whooping, learn from it, and then go to bed. I love that he's giving you that freedom too, like you said, to be you. It is important, especially when you know you got a dad that understands the game. Our fathers are supermen to us. So everything we do, we're trying to impress our fathers. So it's dope that he gives you that freedom. Hey, do your thing. When the game over, then we can chop it up about it. And I like that you got your brothers. I know your brothers hard on you. I ain't asked you about your brothers for a reason. I know they're hard on you. But I do love that you got pops that at the dinner table. All right, He didn't have a rough one. Let me let you calm down. Hey, why you missed that block though? Because you need somebody to hold you accountable too. So I like that you have that relationship with him, and you can allow him that freedom to still correct you. Like you said, the light bulb went off in your head because you saw he got frustrated with you. You like, all right, if he mad, I gotta tighten up. If he said I can't come in the way, okay, I gotta tighten up. So I like that y'all have that back and forth relationship, bro. I wish you nothing but good health and success this year. I know you got your bye week this week. I hope everybody at Vero that is banged up gets healthy, and y'all go on a serious run before the end of this year. But before that, let everybody know where they can follow you on Instagram and Twitter, because they're gonna ask me. And if I didn't talk about your team, it's only because if we went through his whole offer sheet, none of us is sleeping tonight. So if you're wondering if he has the offer, he does. But for those fans that want to keep up with you and they want to see game to game, let them know where they can follow you on Instagram and Twitter.
So Instagram and Twitter, they're the same thing. It's at ChampSmith55 all together.
Go follow him. I'm going to link both of those down in the description. So all you got to do is click them. It'll go straight to his page. And I'm going to link his quick cut. So it's not a huddle. Y'all, I know y'all are going to ask me. It's not a huddle. It's a quick cut. It's actually better. I promise. It's not a bunch of pop-ups. It's easier to deal with. And you can go check out everyone at Vero on that quick cut as well. Bro, after next year, when you get the next season, we're going to have you back on so we can sit there and watch that tape as well. But you're more than welcome. Once you commit, if you're like, I want to talk about it, CB, let's go. You're more than welcome on the channel at any time. Like I said, I wish you nothing but good health and success this year. And go Vero. I know I speak for everybody in the comments when I say we want you to commit to our school, but wherever you go, you got a fan in all of us.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
Like, share, and subscribe. Go follow Champ right now. And go follow his YouTube. I'm going to put his YouTube in the description too. Y'all on YouTube watching this, so don't tell me you can't subscribe. Go subscribe to him right now. We out.